Can you see me? Hello? Can you find me? Can you find me? I'm here. Behind you, look. Behind you. I'm behind you. I am right behind you.
So here it is. It's the podcast nobody asked for. Three guys in a kitchen, drinking coffee and having a chat.
Okay, I thought we all hate Halloween, isn't that right?
We do all hate Halloween.
Okay, so I'll pretend to be devil's advocate sometimes and say, oh, it's lovely, and it's a thing for like people to do those druid things that they do, or correct me if I'm wrong, somebody does those things, don't they?
Just druid things.
They celebrate something with it. It's something like celebrating people you've lost or something.
That's Day of the Dead. That's Mexican.
No, but there's an actual thing that goes with Halloween. I can't remember what it is, or not that I really cared. But it's just, there is a thing that people actually do, and it's slightly spiritual and slightly religious.
So before we get into it, Andy called this session as a special for Halloween.
Yeah, he's already done the stupid music for
it. Would you like to rationalise why we're here?
Because he's done the stupid music for it.
So, what is my rationale? I don't really know. What I thought would be nice is that we broke a little bit away from the usual.
Okay.
And we had something that was a bit different, because obviously, you know, we love doing what we do and having a chat, and it's all quite nice. And, you know, we talk about completely random different things each week. We don't know what's going to happen. But I just had this idea that if we could just do something a little bit more themed.
Oh,
Themed.
Okay.
It needn't have necessarily have been Halloween. It's just that Halloween is the first thing that has come along since we've been doing the podcast.
Okay.
We kind of have to do a Christmas special because you've got to. So that's my rationale behind doing the Halloween themed episode. But yes, Matthew's quite right. All three of us don't like Halloween,
Well, there may be different reasons why we don't like it.
Okay, so
that might be a way to...
Should we go around the room and find out the reasons why we don't like Halloween?
Cool, you start then.
You want me to start?
Yes, I do.
Right. For me, it is getting more and more and more over the top. The expectations to spend incredible amounts of money. I just said to Ash just before we started, there's a homeware store near where my mum lives, and they had items of Halloween themed items that were out in the start of August. They were out at the start of August, right? Halloween is one single day, right? And you've now got, in Asda the other day, they were selling a Halloween themed teapot. They were selling Halloween themed salt and pepper shakers, right? They were 14 quid.
I'd pay that.
I
Would you?
Pay for anything.
No.
No, but some poor person has been frog-marched into it.
Yeah.
And that for me is really...
So it's the commercialism of it.
It's the commercialism, it's the
hype.
Yeah, the hype, the expectation. My daughter rang me up the other day. She says, do you know anyone that's got a size 6 wedding dress? Because she wanted to go as Bride of Chucky. You don't know what Bride of Chucky is, do you?
No. I've never ever watched
Chucky.
Chucky.
A friend of hers?
No, Chucky.
Nice.
Chucky was a horror film.
It was pretty gruesome and horrible. I'd never watch it.
So Chucky, that's Chucky there.
Oh, that
right.
I know, and that jumps out at you and kills you and all the rest of it.
But
It's
Chucky got married.
Yes.
To Tiffany, who is Bride of Chucky. That's Bride of Chucky. And that's what my daughter wanted to go to as Halloween. So she wanted a size 6 wedding dress so that she could do. I'm like, where am I getting you a size 6 wedding dress from for Halloween? It's ridiculous.
Well, she's not very big, so that's where you get it
Not
from.
about the size.
from a shop called It's Never Too Late.
Okay. So, here's the thing, right? Just before we go on, right? You see that Bride of Chucky thing, and hopefully some of our listeners will know who Bride of Chucky is. Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Maybe. Yeah, demographic, maybe not. So before Isabel was born, I bought her mum a Bride of Chucky doll, and it was 2 foot high.
Did you not like her?
Because she wanted it.
Oh.
She was upset. No, I didn't. Funnily enough, no, I didn't. But that's besides the
That's a different
conversation
podcast.
Yeah. That'll be the last one before she puts a hit out on me.
Shit out, mate.
Yeah. So I bought this thing. So this is before Isabel was born. So you're looking 14, 15 years ago, right? And I bought this thing, and it was 200 quid then. Right. It's proper. It's like really authentic.
Was it
genuine
for
thing.
Halloween?
No. It was just this is just it's just a random
purchase
gift that she wanted. They're now a collector's item.
Hallelujah.
Not hallelujah for me, is it? Because I ain't got the bloody
he
thing.
got divorced, so he doesn't get any money back out of it.
They're going for 700 quid.
Joking. Really?
That's a lot of money.
And she's still got it sitting up in the bedroom. So, yeah.
Hang on, is that unopened?
You
though?
didn't split that.
So was it unopened?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 700 quid in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, she's got a £700 Bride of Chucky doll.
Oh, you should have bought 4 of them.
Yeah.
So was that not part of the settlement when you split?
Well, if I'd have known, would have done.
Okay, well.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, for me, Halloween, the reason that I don't like it is the over commercialization of it, the expectation to spend money, which I don't like. But I also don't like the same thing about Christmas. I don't like Christmas for the reason that there's that huge expectation that, you spend money. And I just think it's a whole lot of money for one single event that most people don't really know the basis of what it is for.
Yeah, we couldn't even. I couldn't even tell you what the religious or spiritual thing
pagan, isn't it?
I can't remember. I really can't remember. I'm not confident enough to know what it was.
We were relying on you, Matt.
I know, but I don't know everything, sadly.
So that's my reason. Ash, your reason?
Okay, so this is just about why we don't like it before we get into...
This is why we don't
your
like
reasons why you don't like
your reason why you don't like Halloween.
Okay. I just don't understand it.
Okay.
Not that everything, that happens that needs to be rationalized in some shape or form, but I don't understand it. I mean, for a start off, I'm not into horror stuff, for instance, right?
Yeah.
I understand that that's the purpose of this, to frighten people.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even watch the Hammer horrors. This is black and white, old stuff.
Yeah.
Was timid in some shape or form, but
Vincent Price sort of.
Vincent Price stuff. Never watched those. I haven't watched The Exorcist, or I just don't like being frightened.
Fair enough.
Why would you want to be frightened?
Fair enough.
So I don't like it for that reason. Because I don't like horror things, and because I don't understand it, because I don't see the point of it. I only see it as, when our kids were young, and I always say this about things that parents do with their kids. It's quite often not because the kids want to do it; it's because the parents want to do it. So I say that about Disneyland.
Yeah.
The reason that I never took my kids to Disneyland, not because we couldn't afford it, right? Because I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Right, and
It's fair enough.
but it's true.
Yeah.
But parents who take them get off on it. They really like going to Disneyland. And they take their kids.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Halloween, because I never really had, or Anne never had a real anything to do with it, the kids didn't really do a lot. In fact, we had to send them out with other families to go and do what they do.
Yeah.
Right? And we didn't have them at all. And we used to, once they were grown up, the typical thing was to close all the curtains, right? So there's no light going out, and don't open the door.
Don't open the door. Yeah.
Right? But I still kept some sweets and things.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm not against it. If people get something out of it, and I'll talk a little bit about what I think it could be from my experience of another country where thing happened.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that later. But that's why I don't particularly like it.
Yeah.
And I researched extensively this morning with Helena, my dear lady that does, our domestic goddess.
Yes.
And when I said to her, so, what do you get out of it? Well, I take my granddaughter out, and it means that we have some fun. But in the last few years, it's become really awful. These kids have gone around throwing eggs at the windows, and I can't clean them anymore, and it's horrible, and da da da. But it's all about for the child, for her granddaughter. But when you ask, well, do you know what Halloween's about? What it's for? No idea.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway,
It's just dressing up and doing scary things.
Yeah.
Well, I've looked it up whilst we were chatting, just so we can actually say what it is.
Go on then.
And this is from history.com, if anybody minds.
Is it trustworthy?
Well, as much as the rest of them
Sounds
are,
quite
they
trustworthy.
all say roughly the same thing. Basically, it's a tradition originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, where people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts.
Okay.
And
So you have to believe in ghosts first.
And then it got a bit Christianized, like over time, and then it evolved and evolved and evolved, and now it's what we see as part of the, commercial thing that Andy was just saying.
But funny enough, Helena mentioned that this morning and said, "Oh, it's when the Ku Klux Klan come out." And I thought, no, I'm sure that's not what you mean.
That's
something-
not the
I
same
think
thing.
what she was describing was the ghost kind of the idea of
costumes,
white sheets, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, as long as the head bit ain't pointy, you're fine.
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you like it?
Hang on, I had a good reason. What was my good reason? Oh, my dad hated it when I was growing up. My sisters sort of enjoyed it, but the bit that made me fully agree with my dad was when some trick-or-treaters came to the door and they were twice my age. And this was when I was about 8.
Yeah.
So I was like, they were 16 saying trick or treat, and I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I agree with him to an extent. It's begging.
It's begging.
It's begging for sweets. And it's like, why should you get sweets? Why don't you just go to the shop and buy your own bloody sweets and stay at home?
Yeah.
So that's the bit that annoys me. It's like, why would I give you sweets? Yeah. Seriously, why would I give you sweets? It's not like carol singers nowadays where they go around, they give you a chocolate when they're singing carols, and then they say, oh, if you'd like, can you donate to this so we can feed some homeless people on Christmas Day? And you think, oh, that's really nice. Yeah. It's nothing like that. It's just kids who want sweets. And parents, for some reason, are okay encouraging it for no reason. Because every single person buys the sweets or the chocolate or whatever and hands them out to everybody that isn't their child in the hope that their child goes and gets handed out by everybody else and comes back with pretty much the same bag that they've given out.
Yeah, because everybody's gone to the same shop.
Everybody's gone to the same shop to buy the same things, and then what's it? Why don't you just keep the bag that you've bought for yourself, and everybody just go, oh, we'll watch a scary movie and eat some sweets.
Yeah, and they're cheap sweets, aren't they?
Yeah, they're cheap sweets anyway.
Cheap sweets.
Yeah.
You just wait till the blooming sugar tax comes out.
Well, no, my dad gave out oranges most of the time.
Well, that's
because he was just like, I'm not buying sweets for it, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing something healthy.
What's the trick or treat business? What's all
you get a trick if you don't give them a treat.
But I've never seen anybody do a trick. I mean,
no,
nobody's going to say
eggs.
Yeah, but nobody says, do a trick.
It's usually but it's the eggs. That's the trick.
Yeah, but nobody says that.
No, nobody. Everybody just leave it.
So I don't like it for that reason. I went to one Halloween party and I thought that was actually quite fun because it was a load of kids in one of the kids' parents' house. They'd obviously decked it all out. They got games out and they made it fun and X, Y, and Z. And nobody went and asked for anything. You just had a slightly scary, interesting thing where you dressed up as costumes.
Yeah.
And that was fine. And I thought that should be the main things. And then it gets kids to be happy. They get their activities. They get their sweets. The parents, some of them get the night off.
Yeah. We did it once when Isabel was younger.
And then that's fine. The knocking on the door thing, get rid of it.
Okay.
Absolutely
get rid of the knocking on the door.
Okay.
So,
and the twats who throw eggs, but you can put a bleep there.
well, I generally don't
Why do you want to
much.
cut out eggs?
I call them.
So we have a Halloween room 101 here.
Yeah.
Things that we're keeping and things that we're getting rid of. So we're getting rid of knocking on the doors. Yeah. We're getting rid of teenagers. Or actually, no,
You
getting rid of knocking on.
You can't get rid of teenagers.
No, you can, just not legally.
Yeah. So we don't have to worry about it being teenagers that knock on the doors because we're now saying that it should be. Could we keep like maybe I don't know under fives who want to dress up or stuff like that?
No, but that's what I mean. You organise the party between them and the friends.
See, when I was younger, I used to go trick or treating, and it used to be the houses of people that my mum and dad would know.
Yes,
We wouldn't go and just knock on anybody else's door.
Don't do that.
No. But your parents have got to walk around with you, hoping that you get something from anything. And I was like, ugh, no.
Okay, so we're getting rid of knocking on doors.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of stuff being in the shops in August.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of
When is a good time for them to be in the shops?
1st of October.
1st of October.
1st of October, put them in the shop.
I think 30th.
Yeah, but they've got plans and
Yeah.
stuff, and that's it. That's all they've got to do. They can't.
Yeah.
But the shops will do what the shops do. Christmas stuff is already in there.
Yeah, and it's all marketing, isn't it? And that's what they're
Yeah, so
but
they
in
don't
our
mind.
ideal world of
Yeah.
No.
saving Halloween,
Yeah.
But why would we want to say?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting rid of that. We're getting rid of any unnecessary household items that are perfectly fine not being Halloween themed.
Yes.
Any
Salt and
pepper shakers, teapots, dinner sets. Decoration is fine. Keep the
Yeah.
decoration, but you don't
That's
need.
just taking the piss.
Yeah, you don't need a Halloween themed vase.
Yeah.
To put flowers in. That's unnecessary. You don't need it.
So I think if I describe what I visited Lucerne in Switzerland about 15 years ago when I was working, and we must have had an exhibition or something there. It was in February.
Mhm.
And that weekend on the Friday or Saturday, whatever it was, they had a huge festival.
Okay.
Right. And it was people dressing up in scary outfits and all the rest of it.
Okay.
But the whole town was involved.
Right.
I mean, it was a cold February time.
Mm-hmm.
It was snow on the ground,
Mhm.
right? And there were bands marching. There were kind of discos. There were silent discos.
Okay.
You know what silent discos are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silent
Headphones on.
discos and food stalls and music everywhere. And I thought that's amazing.
That's a nice thing.
What I liked about it is that I think there is an aspect of, it's a cold time of the year. We're still away from the celebrations of Christmas.
Yeah.
This kind of fits in around about the right time.
Yeah.
Why not have a community thing that actually involves the town and the community,
Yeah.
and everybody can be out
Yeah.
meeting people, socializing, yes, drinking and whatever, right? I think that's more of a celebratory thing,
Yeah.
with all the trappings of
Spooky,
Halloween-y
yeah.
type stuff.
Yeah.
But it's what we've got here. We tend to be more indoors, and it's kind of. I know they go out and knock on the doors and stuff like that, but that's very limited. I don't think too many people actually do that because they're worried about their kids and all the rest of it.
Yeah, that's
So
been
there's all
wound
this
into quite a
fuss,
lot.
and you've generated all this hype and excitement and all the rest of it.
It's a bit of a letdown.
And I think it's a bit of a letdown.
Yeah,
So my thinking is that it needs to be a more of a community-based thing,
Yeah.
where people can get involved and have a really good outdoor event.
And the thing about it being, you've just said then, obviously in February in Switzerland, it's cold. It's cold here in February. And a lot of festivals and things like that are happening. They do happen in the winter generally, don't they? Because I think that's a time when you need to be brightened up. You want something to celebrate. I mean, in Shetland, the Shetland Islands, they have something called Uphelliar. Probably not pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
But it's ships that are made. People build ships not to put on the water, but they're is there a parade, pull them through the town, and you've got people dressed up in Saxon costumes and stuff like that, and then they have big fires and stuff, and that's a good example of a festivity, and I think you're right there, actually. Something that is more Halloween could be more inclusive rather than the way that it is, which is quite sort of. And it's also quite intimidating for older people, vulnerable people who are on their own. Yeah. That is another aspect of it that I think is a bit.
How about dogs? Do they like it?
My dog's going to love
Right?
people coming and knocking on
Okay.
the door. He's going to absolutely love it.
Is that
They might not. The kids might not.
he's going to love it?
He's going to love it. Yeah.
He's going to get his barking.
Well, he already
bits
looks
going.
like a werewolf, so
I
he's fine.
could get him a costume, couldn't I?
What for? He's already a
Oh,
werewolf.
I thought he was
He's that
already.
big.
I thought he was
He's already
already in
that-
a costume.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
already that big, and he's already got that sort of face.
Yeah,
as in
he
a wolf
already looks
face. He'll
sort
be
of-
fine.
So
He just needs a massive coat, and that's it.
Yeah.
yeah. So what do you think? What? How do you think it should be celebrated?
Oh no, like the party, like I said, and
Yeah.
do it inside and
Yeah,
make everything,
like that.
and then you can do that for the kids, and then maybe do your way, or just not do it. Tom.
So
that's always a solution. Just everybody go. You know what? I'm not involved,
Yeah, okay.
and
So we
just
just
pull out.
so instead of trying to keep bits for Halloween, Matthew's decided we're just going to pull the plug on that.
Why
whole-
not? It is annoying, and everybody doesn't
the
really
American-
like it.
It
and
is very
everybody-
much an
oh,
American thing, isn't it? And they go to town on it.
Big time.
Yeah.
And we've
Yeah.
definitely, the last couple of years, it seems like houses are being decorated from the start of
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
And then it's straight,
Yeah.
you're going straight from October. Start of October, it's all Halloween decorations. First
Bonfire
of
night.
November, we've got bonfire night, and now people that, and then 6th of November, everybody's putting their Christmas decorations
Yeah,
up.
yeah, that's good. I don't mind that.
Okay,
I like that.
okay.
I
I
actually-
like the fact that in winter and then darkness, people do things like putting up decorations, like putting up lights to brighten people up.
So
And
you're okay with that?
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with Christmas lights. They're quite nice and jolly.
Because I know somebody that's got their Christmas lights up already.
Yeah, that's too early.
Well,
mate.
that's that's stupid. But
It's
you
like
know,
with anything. You can have
the
them
idea of it, I don't mind. In fact, I wouldn't mind if it's out all year round.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Okay.
Bit of bit of fun.
Yeah.
I think we missed that here.
Yes.
Do you remember that picture I sent you from Spain of that tree?
The one that looked like a UFO landing
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
at night time it's lit up.
Yeah.
And thing. Was there not that I could tell. There was no purpose for that at all.
Just a light.
But they like doing things that are fun.
Fun. Quirky.
And I quite like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if we're too bit reserved for things like that.
Just the old
Maybe
British stiff upper lip
You know.
and but then that's not the case, is it? Because we buy into all of the crap that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we're not too reserved to dress our child up as one of the kids out of Willy Wonka and send them down the road to go and get some toffee feet.
so. That I've discovered there's some etiquette around Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
And I was talking to somebody last night, and you know who it is. It's our friend Stu.
Our friend Stu.
And so he was, talking about Halloween and all the rest of it. And then he started talking about some of the etiquette around it. And he said, so like when you have pampas grass in the front.
What?
That's not the same anymore now.
The what grass?
Pampas
Pampas
grass.
grass.
What the hell is that?
It's, you know what, you're gardening, man.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I know everything.
He
It's
doesn't know.
it's these big long things, furry, fluffy, big
Pampas
bamboo
grass.
type things.
Oh, them, a little wheat.
Yes,
Yeah.
pampas grass.
So pampas grass has always had an association with people who like certain things, like to do certain things.
All right.
Well,
Can
basically,
we explain what this?
yeah, basically it's people who like to swing.
Right. So you put them out the front and they know you're,
So
you
he's-
know you can knock on the door and
Correct,
get
yeah.
a good time.
But it's different now. They've changed it.
No, but you can come back to that
Okay,
in a minute
sorry,
because this
yeah.
is the follow.
Yeah, yeah.
So when Stewie says, "Oh, well, like when you have pampas grass," I said, "Yeah, I've got some in my front garden." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I have." He said, "Well, you know what it's?" Yeah. I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, it's like that. There's this thing now where you have to hollow out a pumpkin, put it in your front garden with a light in it and a candle."
Mhm.
Right? And then I was expecting him to say, well, that's for another quirky thing that people want to do, right?
Mhm.
Because he mentioned pampas grass to start with.
Right.
So then he says,
Is this where you're going to reveal something,
So-
Ash, about
so-
you or your friend that is a bit personal and maybe shouldn't be?
so he
Read
goes
out.
into this long explanation as to why now people put these pumpkins out there. And I thought he was going to say to me, well, that's what people put out because they want to do this kind of thing. But it's not. It's for the people put it out so that it signifies to people walking past that they don't mind trick-or-treaters.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
But it's the association.
Of yeah.
of the other thing.
Well, don't put an upside down pineapple in the window because that's the swing. That's the new one.
Is that the new thing?
now.
Is
Upside down pineapple?
An upside down pineapple.
But an upside down
Hang on,
pineapple
how do you
doesn't
put-
stand up.
No, it doesn't. How do you make it stand up?
Okay.
Well,
that's
Andy's clearly not a swinger.
I
then.
don't know.
No. Maybe it never stands up. That's why you never get anybody. But then I mentioned to him about another thing that they used to put out during the Second World War, and he said, "What's that?" And I said, "They used to put. Do you remember the soap powder, Omo?"
Oh, yeah, you've told me this one.
Did I?
You told me this
Did
one.
I?
Yeah, I remember this one. You haven't told Matt.
No, go on.
So you put a box of Omo in the window so people could see, and it signifies that the old man is overseas.
Right, so you can come in for a bit of roistering doistering.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, that all kind of fits.
Yeah.
Again.
But you were going to say some.
Bit of a left turn from trick or treating, isn't it?
Okay, right. I wasn't expecting that to be a conversation that we were going to have this evening, but
No,
okay.
well, that's all right.
Maybe Halloween should be that. Let's wind it up.
Well, that was the thing at university. Halloween was an excuse for ladies to dress rather provocatively,
Okay.
and the whole point was that you there was a little bit of unsaid of like, if especially they wore masks and things, people didn't know
Yes.
who was who.
Who was who?
And it also meant it was quite easy. So, for instance, if you fancied a certain guy and then basically all your friends fancied the same guy,
No.
if he was wearing a certain mask,
You're in a costume.
you're in a costume, or you're in a costume, you can make your move so that all your friends don't know
Ah.
and then go off.
Oh wow.
And so there's like loads of stuff like that, and there's other bits and things, and basically sometimes there'd be ones where they were just wearing masks, and so you wouldn't know who you would with.
This is not what I expected.
But that was something that happened occasionally that I heard about at university, and sometimes they didn't even need Halloween to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
That was a very odd party I heard about. Luckily, I didn't attend because I think I'd have gone bright red and shot out the room.
Well, you might have enjoyed it.
I don't think I would have done.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of like it was unspoken of what was going on, apparently. I only ever heard about it because people talked about it and they said it was weird. And it was a bit like they should have been informed before they arrived that was that sort
There
of
was
party.
that sort of thing going on.
So they should have sort of said it's risky or whatever, but they didn't. They just showed up ready for a party. They brought some booze or whatever, and there was quite a few people who didn't have a lot of clothes on.
Oh dear.
I know.
It's a bit shocking.
I know, you need your smelling salts.
Yeah.
Are we if we do a remote recording for one of these parties
Yeah.
one day?
No.
So what have we
It was
established?
pretty weird. We don't like Halloween.
Right, okay. So what are you going to do on Halloween night?
Me?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No
Absolutely
plans because I don't have my daughter and it's not something that I'm particularly fussed about. So, no, I will be
So
sitting back listening to a really good Halloween themed podcast.
Oh, God.
sounds great.
So, at the end of last week's episode, I gave you a riddle and I will remind you.
We're finding out what the thing is.
Yes, I'm going to remind you of my riddle. Okay. Right. So, this is the prisoner who has been condemned to hanging
Yeah.
at noon
Yeah.
on one weekday in the following week,
Okay.
but the execution will be a surprise to the prisoner.
Right. It has to be after 12, I remember.
Yep, it will be hanged at noon.
Wait, it would definitely be after.
He will be hanged at noon on one weekday in the following week,
Yeah.
but the executioner. But the execution will be a surprise to the prisoner. He will not know the day of the hanging until the executioner knocks on his cell door at noon that day. Okay? Having reflected on his sentence, the prisoner draws the conclusion that he will escape from the hanging. And so I said, how has he worked out that he's going to escape? And is he right? So did you have any thoughts on this?
No. I remember if I said last time that if it was Friday 12:01, he knew he was going to survive at least till the weekend.
And you were very much on
So
the
it's
right
on the
lines.
point, but I can't think of it that much. No.
Would you like the answer to this?
Yes,
Yes, we
please.
would.
Right. Okay. So his reasoning is in several parts. He begins by concluding that the surprise hanging can't be on Friday, as if he hasn't been hanged by Thursday, there's only one day left,
Yes.
And so it won't be a surprise if he's hanged on Friday.
Because he knows it's
Right,
Black
okay.
Friday on
So
Friday.
it's because that's
Yeah.
Friday's left.
Okay.
Since the judge's sentence stipulated that the hanging would be a surprise to him, he concludes that it cannot occur on Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
But now he realises that it can't be on Thursday either, because Friday's already been eliminated. And if he hasn't been hanged by Wednesday afternoon, he knows that it must occur on Thursday.
God.
And so Thursday won't be a surprise.
Right.
By similar reasoning, he concludes that the hanging can also not occur on Wednesday, Tuesday, or Monday. Joyfully, he returns to his cell,
Yeah.
confident that the hanging will not occur at all.
Yeah.
So why
Right.
can't it just be Monday?
Because he would know by reasoning that it can't possibly
No,
be
but that just
the Friday.
eliminates absolutely every single day for no reason other than it can't be the next day.
Yeah, can't be. Can't be the,
So it can't be any. No, I don't think that makes sense in my head.
Well, in fairness, right? The next week, the executioner knocks on the prisoner's door at noon on Wednesday, which, despite all of the above, was an utter surprise to the prisoner.
Well, so he does turn up on Wednesday.
Yeah, and he gets hanged because
Well, no, so
because that was a surprise.
Yeah. But his reasoning is crap.
Well, that's
It is because there's no real reason. The only day he can be sure of is after Thursday.
yeah.
If it's 12:01 Thursday, it won't be a shock.
Yes.
It being on Friday.
I mean, there's a whole.
It doesn't have the same reasoning that can keep going back and back and back and back.
There's a whole.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of stuff that you can read about if you want to read about it. There's a whole logical school of thought that covers the explanation
Rationale
for that, the executioner's paradox.
Excellent.
So there you go.
That was it. What was the other one?
No, that was the.
Oh, I thought you had two things.
Oh, right. Yes, I do. Sorry, you're right. I do. It's a very. I wanted to get in a ghost story. Right. Okay.
Good.
You'll like this one, Matt. Right.
Is it a quick ghost story?
Yes, it's a quick ghost story.
Is it a one-liner?
No, it's not a. No, it's not that quick. Right. Not that
Okay,
quick.
come on. Quick
Right,
ghost story.
okay, yeah, hold on. Let me get it. I need to get it up. I saved it ages ago. I don't know where it is now. Should have been better prepared, shouldn't I?
Indeed.
Oh, God,
This is not what our listeners have come to expect.
No, but I want to rant.
Do you want to do your rant and I'll come back to it?
What's your rant about?
Well, I'm upset.
About what?
Well, about an incident over the weekend.
Okay.
So this weekend, I decided that I would bake a cake.
Right.
Okay. It was a lovely cake. It was made with almonds and oranges and sugar and a bit of
Yeah.
baking powder. And I thought, well, when shall I make it? I thought I'd make it on Saturday night.
Right.
Right. I normally make it on a Sunday, but I thought I'd make it on a Saturday night because two of my very good friends were going to come out for a walk with me,
Right.
which was my dear friend Andy and Stewie.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought, well, when they come back here, they can have a slice of cake.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So I thought that would be quite nice. So we have a walk and we come down and I present this cake to my two friends here. Right?
Did you spit it out, Andy?
Right.
No.
Right. By the way, one person who says that she's never been mentioned on the podcast was Andy's daughter Isabel,
Right.
who also came back with us,
Right.
and she was great. She was completely switched on, very confident young lady, and she was very polite with everything that she was given. Okay, she didn't like citrus stuff, so she didn't like the cake. She had a tub bite and very politely said, "I don't like citrus stuff," and that was fine. And she was great.
Yeah.
Right. However, my other friend Stewie, who I presented with this cake, took one bite of it and said, "It needs a custard."
Oh.
So I said, well, it doesn't come with custard. I'm sorry, but, well, I always, like to have it with an accompaniment, a custard. Okay, so that's fine. He's made a comment.
Mm-hmm.
I can take it.
Yeah.
I can take it. All right. So then he talks about the combinations of various things that you have. And he said to Isabel something about, what was it, about chocolate and mint?
Yes, chocolate and mint. Yes.
Chocolate and mint, combination of chocolate and mint. Have you never had that before?
Yeah, it's bloody awful. Carry on.
Right. So, no, it was something else with mint. I forget what it was. Anyway, so I happened to have some mint matchsticks in the drawer over there.
Okay.
So I pulled them out to show them to Isabel so I could have a look at them. And he grabs a hold of one, right? And he pokes it into the cake.
Sacrilegious, really,
Right.
wasn't it?
And then he grabs that part of it and he eats the chocolate matchstick, pink matchstick, with his cake, right? And I thought, rude, right? But not only that, let me say, right? He proceeds to break a piece of matchstick with every mouthful.
Yep.
Right?
Right. Okay.
Right? Now I'm upset.
Right. Okay.
Now I'm thinking, I don't mind criticism, right? And I don't mind feedback, right? And his feedback was, I need custard. And I said, no way it's going to get in custard. You don't have custard. With my apple pie, I get custard. Well, fine. You go and have your custard with your apple pie, but you're not getting apple custard with this, right?
Okay.
And I thought, that was very rude, and I didn't feel like he should have done what he'd done, and therefore, I've told him that.
Oh.
I told him that in no certain terms. Okay.
Okay.
Now the world knows.
Right.
Okay.
So you do not mess around.
No, I don't mess around. So be careful. Next time I make you something,
Yeah.
right? I don't mind feedback, but don't take the piss. Right?
That's
Okay.
We with the quesadillas that you made us this
Yes.
evening. We were making
Constructive.
some suggestions.
Constructive.
Very
And I
constructive.
appreciated that. Absolutely.
But I don't.
And I say to Stewie, take note.
Yes, that is how you
That's how you.
constructively criticise the
Right,
chef.
exactly.
I'm quite chill. So I'm going to play Stu's advocate and there are worse crimes in this world of ours, but obviously it really got your goat.
I think
Particularly because I baked it the night before so that it can be presented to my great friends the following morning. Do you know what I mean? I made it with love
yeah,
and
Yeah.
with effort.
yeah.
And yet I get this response. I'm not happy.
No, I'm not. Sorry, we should not be laughing, but it is funny how incensed you are.
So carry on.
But no, fair enough. It's your house, and you should get people to eat your cake how you intended them to eat that cake. And Stu, what bullshittery are you doing? I mean, seriously, dude. So there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that support.
Personally, I thought cream would have been better than custard anyway. So
I wouldn't mind it.
Oh, I don't like cream or custard, so.
And this was my story, right? Now, you don't like horror stuff, okay?
Yeah. Is this going to scare me out?
No.
Okay.
No.
Even mildly.
Not even in the slightest.
Okay. I'm anxious already.
But it's not that bad.
No.
Okay. But okay, so this it couldn't have been a Halloween special if I didn't include some sort of spooky tale.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I'm going to take us back 124 years to the 15th of December 1900, and a small group of islands called the Flannan Isles, which are just off the west coast of the Isle of Lewis in Scotland.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, on one of the Flannan Isles, the island called Island Moor, is a lighthouse. And on the 15th of December 1900, the ship, the SS Arctur, is making its way from Philadelphia to the port of Leith. Don't know why you would want to go from Philadelphia to Leith. Have you ever been to Leith?
They may have had family in Leith.
Apparently it's a regular journey.
Oh.
For the captain and his crew.
Okay.
So that means there's a regular ship going from Philadelphia to Leith.
Wow.
Strange. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Captain Holman is in charge of the ship, and he's standing on the bridge, scanning the horizon for the lighthouse just before midnight. But there is no light coming from the lighthouse. At the same time, a man called Roderick Mackenzie is standing on the Isle of Lewis, a place called Gallen Head. He's looking across the ocean for the light on Island Moor. He's a gamekeeper on Lewis, but he's also paid £8 a year by the Northern Lighthouse Board to keep a watch for any signals from the lighthouse. He hasn't seen the light for 8 nights in a row now. At first, he put this down to the rough weather, but tonight he has a feeling that something maybe is terribly, terribly wrong. 8 days. He's being paid to keep an eye out for this lighthouse, and he's waited 8 days before he's thought, well, that's not right, is it?
No, but he wants to keep getting paid, doesn't he?
Well, I'm sure he'll still get paid if
Okay.
you go and let somebody know.
But it is a long time. I agree.
8 days. I mean, 1 day, 2 days, maybe.
Yeah, I'd get worried.
Yeah. But no, he's left it 8 days.
Days, yeah.
So when the SS Arctur arrived into Leith, Captain Holman reported his concerns about the missing light to the ship's agents. For some reason, word didn't get back to the Northern Lighthouse Board until after Christmas. So no one's in any rush here.
The inefficiency of it all.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
So by the time that the message had already got across to the Isle of
Leith.
Lewis,
Yeah, Lewis.
a boat called the Hesperus was already on its way to Island Moor, carrying the relief keeper, a Joseph Moore. So they're already on their way.
Mm.
When they were close to the island, the Hesperus raised a flag to signal their arrival. There was no response from the lighthouse. The boat sounded its horn several times and set off a flare. Still no response. The boat berthed at the East Landing, and Joseph Moore went ashore alone to find out.
That rhymes.
Joseph Moore went to shore.
Yeah.
He did.
Mhm.
Joseph Moore went ashore alone. And they sent him on his own. I mean, it's a bit.
Well, I mean, if it's a spooky story, then you would send somebody alone because that would make it more spooky.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be good if,
No.
all 4 of them got off the boat to have a
No.
look. Yeah, he's got to be on his own, hasn't
Support
he?
each
Yeah.
other and
Yeah.
cuddle each other. wouldn't be good.
No. Be a bit too romantic, wouldn't it? So he's off there to go and find his three friends and fellow keepers: James Duckett, the principal keeper; Thomas Marshall, the assistant keeper; and Donald MacArthur, an occasional, and a Lewisman and tailor by trade who was trained in lightroom duties and helped out when needed.
I'd love to be called an occasional.
An occasional.
Yeah.
Just anything.
Who are you? I'm an occasional.
I'm an occasional. Doesn't matter what the occupation is. You're just quite
I'd
happy
like to be an occasional.
just be an occasional. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
So he knew Joseph Moore knew the other men well, and their families all lived together at the shore station on Lewis. He climbs up the steps towards the lighthouse. Looking up, he sees there on top of the light tower 3 huge storm-black birds, like 3 drowned sailors on a ghostly ship. And as he watches, they rise up without a sound, fly out to sea and disappear. Joseph feels a shiver run through him. The door of the lighthouse is closed tight, but not locked, so he pushes it open cautiously. It's silent. In the kitchen, the plates, cups and cutlery have been washed and neatly stacked away. The fire is unlit and the ashes in the grate are cold to the touch. Joseph climbs to the next level to check the bedrooms. Fearful of what he may find behind the closed doors, he hesitates for a moment before going inside. But when he goes into the rooms, the beds are all empty and made up. And in the light room, everything is in proper order, the lamp cleaned, the fountain full, and the blinds drawn for daytime duty. But the 3 keepers appear to have vanished. Joseph hurried back down to the boat to tell of what he'd seen. He wanted to get off the island and away from the deafening silence, never to come back. But that night he had to go back into the abandoned lighthouse with 3 other members of the crew, so at least they went with him this time.
Yeah.
Because obviously you need to keep the light on. You got to get the light on.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to do that. And the next morning they searched the rocky island from end to end. The only clue of what might have happened was at the western landing. The mooring ropes, landing ropes and crane handles were missing, and the iron railings along the footpath bent out of shape. The lifebuoy, which was stored 110 feet above sea level, had disappeared completely. James Duckett, Thomas Marshall and Donald MacArthur were never found, and to this day, their disappearance is still a mystery. There are talks of murder, of tempers out of control, perhaps fueled by drink or isolation or madness. Some wonder about the old legends of the island, the ruined chapel, of the burying places found there from a time of the Druids, a place of storms and strange happenings. And then some people say that they were swept off a rock by a freak wave, which is probably the most likely one, isn't it? Let's be fair. It's not really that much of a spooky mystery, is it? It's sort of fairly obvious.
Don't tell me you're going to stop here.
I'm going to leave it there.
Are you?
Yeah.
So we don't know. It's definitely a mystery.
It is definitely a mystery.
Don't know about spooky.
Well,
I thought the blackbirds had something to do with it, but they didn't.
No. I mean, I really struggled to actually...
They were just there for a bit of drama.
They were just there for drama. Yeah. So
A visual.
so 124 years later, and no one knows whatever happened to these
really?
men. Yes, it's a true story.
Yeah, so you think that the wave kind of crashed and they were all out?
Well, there's this
But they
argument.
decided that they do, clean up and tidy up and make the beds and everything, and then pop out.
Well, the thing is, right, is that there is an argument that, firstly, 110 foot
Yeah.
is quite high.
Well, I was going to say that.
That is quite high
It
for
is
a
high.
wave to
Yeah,
get to.
for a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that, technically speaking, there should always have been one person in the lighthouse. So if two people left the lighthouse, one person had to stay.
Yeah.
But all three were gone.
Wow.
But then if I was in the lighthouse on my own
Yeah.
and I saw a big, massive
Wave coming.
wave coming towards me and my mates are outside, then I'm going to go out and tell them, aren't I?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I want some of that.
yeah, well, no, not get a surf. He's not got to pick his surfboard up.
They're
Oh,
probably still out there surfing.
yeah.
24 days, years later.
So that was my ghost story.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm sure that people will like that.
I hope so.
I hope so. Are we done?
We're done. I'm just going to say that next week's episode, our third amigo Matthew is off on his holidays in Wales. For you. So our previous guest, Stu, is going to be stooning in.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, especially after the
Incident. So, okay, by Saturday, it'll be nearly a week
You might
since the incident.
have calmed.
I think I might have eased off.
You might have calmed by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised if
It's a hostile episode.
a hostile episode.
Yeah.
I think it'll be saved by the fact that we've got a guest,
Yes, indeed.
and I might behave myself.
You might have to just,
On that occasion,
yeah.
take him out after.
Yeah.
That's good.
That sounds like a plan.